May your good Lord help you.
Powder Dan ran with an outlaw named July Bully.
Ain't heard of him.
And that I'd be a coward. Go get the wagon.
Still have men there, sir.
Been lucky with one-eyed Jacks.
It all begins in a small town called Rose Creek in Mexico in 1879, where this small town has a lot of gold beneath it, and its land is very fertile for growing vegetables. However, for some time now, the town of Rose Creek has been terrorized by land bandits who have hundreds of henchmen. The townspeople can no longer tolerate it because the water, agricultural produce, and gold mining results produced by the townsfolk are all seized by the bandit named Bartholomew Bogue. The townspeople then hold a meeting in the church to discuss this issue. In the meeting, some townspeople are very scared and even suggest that they leave the town. However, others refuse because this land is theirs, including Matthew and his wife, Emma. In the midst of the endless discussion, Bogue and his henchmen suddenly arrive. There, Bogue reveals that recently the land of Rose Creek has become worthless, so they are making little profit. Bogue then offers the townspeople to buy their land for $20. However, of course, because the price is very low, the townspeople refuse and many protest. At that moment, Bogue's henchmen begin firing warning shots and drive them out of the church. Not only that, Bogue also burns the church, causing the townspeople to run for their lives. Seeing Bogue's brutality, Matthew bravely confronts Bogue, who has been treating the townspeople with impunity. But unfortunately, Bogue, who is ruthless, shoots Matthew dead right in front of Emma. Bogue then continues shooting other townspeople who try to resist, resulting in a very dramatic scene. Before Bogue leaves the town, he threatens to return in 3 weeks and demands that they accept the offer he has made. The scene then shifts to the town of Amador, where we are introduced to the main character of this film, a veteran officer of the United States Marshal from Kansas named Sam Chisholm. He is seen riding his horse gallantly, attracting the attention of the townspeople. Sam then enters a bar where there is a cowboy and a skilled gambler named Joshua Faraday, or simply called Joss. In the bar, Sam asks the bartender about the whereabouts of a fugitive named Powder Dan. Meanwhile, the bar patrons who know about Sam feel scared and begin to point their guns at him. However, Sam quickly demonstrates his skills by shooting bottles and chairs, causing the patrons to choose to remain silent. After that, Sam shoots the bartender because it turns out the bartender is Powder Dan, and Sam then instructs the people to call the sheriff. Everyone hurriedly leaves except for Faraday or Joss. Shortly after, the local sheriff begins to arrive. Sam calmly explains that he has been assigned by the court to hunt down Powder Dan, who is a major fugitive, as Dan killed a family and a sheriff. In addition, Joss, who is about to leave, is suddenly approached by 2 brothers who feel cheated by Joss while gambling 2 weeks ago. The 2 men then drag Joss to an empty lot and intend to kill him. Despite being in a very desperate situation, Joss manages to pull out his cards and deliberately performs a magic trick that distracts them. As they are distracted, Joss immediately shoots one of the men dead and then shoots the other man in the ear. Joss then lets the man live as long as he does not disturb his life again. On the other hand, when Sam is about to leave, he is stopped by Emma and her companion, Teddy, who are looking for weapons. The 2 then tell Sam about the situation in Rose Creek, which is being terrorized by evil bandits. The bandits even have the audacity to kill innocent people. So, Emma and Teddy intend to hire or persuade Sam to hunt down the bandits and are ready to offer all the wealth of the townspeople of Rose Creek to pay Sam in gold. At first, Sam refuses. However, after Emma reveals that the bandit is named Bogue, Sam, for some reason, immediately agrees to help them. Meanwhile, Joss goes to a horse trader to redeem his horse, which he traded for Irish whiskey the night before. But unfortunately, Joss does not have enough money, leading to a small dispute between Joss and the horse trader. At that moment, Sam, Emma, and Teddy arrive to redeem Joss's horse. But in return, Joss must join them in fighting Bogue. And because the horse is Joss's beloved, he agrees to the deal. Sam, Joss, Emma, and Teddy then begin their journey on their respective horses. But before that, they divide tasks, where Sam instructs Joss and Teddy to go to Volcano Spring to recruit a man named Goodnight Robichaux, alias Goaty. Meanwhile, Emma goes with Sam to find a fugitive. The 2 then stop at a hut in the middle of the forest with a corpse inside. At that moment, a man named Vasquez ambushes Emma and Sam. Previously, Vasquez had occupied the house to hide because he is a Mexican criminal. Sam also knows that Vasquez is a fugitive who has a bounty of $500 for anyone who can capture him. However, this time Sam does not want to capture Vasquez and instead offers him to join them. In return, Sam will not seek or capture Vasquez after their job is done. Vasquez accepts the offer because, for him, this is very advantageous. On the other hand, Joss and Teddy arrive at Volcano Spring, where he immediately sees a shootout between two cowboy men. One of them is Billy Rocks. However, Billy's opponent thinks that Billy is easy to defeat. So, when the duel is about to start, Billy removes his hat and weapon to the ground, then throws a throwing knife directly into the chest of his opponent, killing him. Goodnight, alias Goody, who is Billy's partner, then collects money from the spectators. When it's Joss and Teddy's turn, Joss immediately says that they were sent by Sam to meet him. They then go to the nearest barber while discussing the offer to join Sam Chisholm. But without further ado, Goody immediately accepts it. In short, Joss and the others then regroup with Sam, Emma, and Vasquez under a Carson tree. It turns out that Sam and Goody are old friends, where Sam once saved Goody's life during the Civil War. The group then goes to meet a tracker named Jack Home. But upon arriving there, they meet two brothers who say that Jack Home has died after being killed by them. However, at that moment, an axe flies into the chest of one of the brothers, and the other brother's head is struck with a rifle by an old man who throws axes. It turns out that the old man is Jack, who is still alive. Jack, who likes to collect heads and knows about the surrounding areas, is then invited by Sam to join them. Without much talk, Jack joins the horseback group. They then begin to return to the town of Rose Creek. But before that, they spend the night on the rocks because they are tired. The next morning, they hear the sound of horses approaching them. It turns out that it comes from a man who is part of the Comanche tribe named Red Harvest. Red has separated from the other tribe members because the tribe leader thinks that Red's path is different from theirs. Sam then begins to approach Red and chats a little because they understand each other's language. Sam also explains that they are on a long journey to fight evil people. Sam then offers Red to join them in fighting those evil people. Red agrees. But before that, Sam must eat the heart of Red's hunt as a sign of their agreement or friendship. Shortly after, Sam and the others finally arrive in Rose Creek. However, the first to enter the town are Sam and Billy to avoid provoking a commotion. Even so, the townspeople of Rose Creek are very frightened and think that Sam is a messenger from Bogue. Sam and Billy then meet some of Bogue's henchmen and also the town sheriff named Bagong, who has been paid off by Bogue. There, Sam informs one of Bogue's henchmen named McCann that he wants to meet Bogue. He also reveals that he will take over this town with his friends. At that moment, Joss and the others begin to reveal themselves. However, McCann, who still does not know Sam's background, arrogantly orders the shooter who is already positioned on the building to attack Sam. But who would have thought that the shooter had already been killed by Red? Not only that, Red also shoots another of Bogue's henchmen, causing a shootout between them to be unavoidable. In the midst of the chaos, Joss is shot in the stomach by McCann. Vasquez happens to see this and immediately backs up Joss, then retaliates by shooting McCann dead. Seeing many of his men fall, Bogue orders his henchmen to use the Gatling gun. Meanwhile, Goody, who has been thinking a lot, finally chooses to return to the town and join the fight. He also informs his friends that Bogue will fire the Gatling gun. At that moment, Bogue begins firing his Gatling gun at the town, killing many people. When the Gatling gunner is reloading, the women and children are immediately evacuated to a safer area. Meanwhile, Horn, who is evacuating Teddy, is suddenly shot by Denali. Horn then challenges Denali to a duel. However, Denali showers Horn with arrows, causing Horn to fall in his struggle. Meanwhile, Emma and Sam help evacuate the children and women from the town of Rose Creek. After that, Emma hides in the bar. However, Denali continues to follow Emma into the bar and tries to kill her. At that moment, Emma begins to feel cornered and also runs out of bullets. Fortunately, Red appears just in time and immediately confronts Denali. In that duel, Red is superior and manages to stab Denali to death before kicking him down to the floor. On the other hand, Goody and Billy take cover in the church tower. Meanwhile, Joss and Sam begin to panic with excitement because Bogue keeps firing his Gatling gun. Since the only way to defeat the Gatling gunner is to take him down, Joss decides to approach the gunner. In his action, Joss is backed up by Billy and Goody. But unfortunately, Bogue's henchmen fire their Gatling gun in succession, ultimately hitting Billy and Goody, killing them. Joss is also shot, causing him to fall right near the Gatling gunner. Joss then walks unsteadily and kneels before Bogue's henchmen. Realizing this is his end, Joss pulls out a cigarette and asks Bogue's henchman to light it for him. Just as one of Bogue's henchmen is about to shoot Joss, he suddenly kneels before him, making the henchman think that Joss has truly surrendered. But unbeknownst to them, Joss is actually kneeling to light the dynamite, which he then throws at Bogue's henchman. As a result, the dynamite explodes, killing the Gatling gunners and himself. After all of Bogue's henchmen are dead, Bogue, now alone, enters the town and must face Sam. When Bogue is ready to shoot, Sam fires first, hitting Bogue's gun. Not stopping there, when Bogue tries to grab his gun, Sam shoots him several times in the legs. As a result, Bogue limps into the church that he once burned down. Sam then drives Bogue inside and tells him to pray. At that moment, Sam begins to choke Bogue while reminding him of the events from decades ago when Bogue and his henchmen came to Sam's hometown in Kansas. There, Bogue raped and killed Sam's mother and sister. That is why Sam has a personal vendetta against Bogue. At the same time, Bogue secretly tries to grab his gun, which he keeps in his ankle holster, to shoot Sam. But fortunately, Emma arrives and shoots Bogue dead first. Although this incident causes significant damage to the town of Rose Creek and many lives are lost, the surviving townspeople still thank their living saviors, Sam, Vasquez, and Red. The priest also promises Sam that he will bury his fallen comrades with dignity. The film closes with Sam, Vasquez, and Red riding horses to leave the town. They also bury Joss, Goody, Jack, and Billy. And forever, the townspeople of Rose Creek will never forget those who fought for something that wasn't even theirs.
And the movie ends. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.